Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hello. Wait, let's just get our mics unmuted.
Yes, did you hear me just now?
Yes, all
All
good,
right,
all good.
good. Hi, Sangeeta.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, you look a little bit
Okay.
frozen. Is it all good there?
Frozen 3, the movie is coming out soon, I guess.
Okay, so hello, friends. Thank you for joining us tonight. Uh, as you all know, this week is International Men's Health Week, right? And today in particular is International Men's Health Day, right? Am I right, Dr. Alvin?
International Men's Day. Yeah, health or no health, it's Men's Day.
It's Men's Day, yay!
Yeah.
And we have a woman here with us. Yes. Let me just see. We need to point at the right place.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So we have, let's just say hello very quickly to everyone. Muihan here is from here, dropping by from LinkedIn. I think, Alvin, you know Muihan, right?
Yeah. Go back a long way. Childhood friends also. So, yeah, just like you and I.
Yep. I will introduce that part of it very soon. Okay. So we have Deva Kumaran in LinkedIn also. We have Badri, we have Ann Lee. Uh, okay, so we are all here. Let me just quickly intro y'all. Today we have Dr. Sangeeta Kaur and Dr. Alvin joining us. They are all friends of ours. Dr. Alvin is actually an old friend going back to the high school days. Okay, and Sangeeta Kaur is definitely not from our high school, right?
She could have done Form 6.
Right. Okay, so let me just quickly introduce y'all, right? And then we'll dive in straight to the topic today. So, Dr. Sangeeta Kaur is an ardent mental health advocate and ambassador who's also a licensed counselor under Ministry of Women and Family. She's also the founder of Emerging Journey Asia, or EJA, an organization that focuses on mental, emotional well-being, assessment tools, human behavior, and human capital development lah. And she has more than 20 years experience in this field, right? And she was also the organizer and chairperson of 2019 Malaysia's first mental health experiential conference, which was held in collaboration with Ministry of Health. All right, so she's been in this area for a really long time. And Dr. Alvin Ng is actually an old friend of mine from high school days. He is currently the professor and head of Department of Psychology at School of Science and Technology, Sunway University, Malaysia. He's a clinical psychologist by training. That's where the doctor comes in, and was also the founding president of the Malaysian Society of Clinical Psychology that he established in 2010. Okay, so Dr. Alvin is passionate about promoting mental health literacy and has given over 300 presentations at conferences, seminars, and public events. And as many of you know, he also frequently comes out on Light FM, right?
Um,
For over
yeah,
the
2 years
last
ago, actually, I
two
stopped
years
already.
ago.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
regular. Now
hmm
he sort of retired from radio and now is making a comeback
On video.
on video. All
Yes.
right.
And I think we
Okay.
just sandwiched Sangeeta out.
Yeah, I think because she felt a bit left out after the men's health thing lah. Okay. Let me just add her back again.
All right, there she is.
Okay. Oops.
Mm.
Okay. Let's also say hello to Stephen Wu, Cynthia Mala, and Kalizan. Hi, Kalizan. All right. Okay. Let me just get Dr. Sangeeta back again on the stream.
I'm back.
Yeah. Okay. All good. All good and clear. Okay. All right.
She's
So let's just get on to the topics today. Okay. So what is mental health? We talk about it a lot, but what it is it, you know, do we equate mental health to actually low mental health? Or do we have like normal mental health, low mental health, and good mental health? Can you all just share a little bit about, what's all of this? What's the difference?
Can I
Perhaps
let Sangeeta
Alvin.
start on this because she's been on a roll giving all this training on mental health at work. So over to you, Sangeeta.
Biasa, I can't hear because it's like cracking.
Okay, it's okay.
All
Just
right.
stay on for a
Then I'll
while. Maybe
answer
you
lah.
can log out first and then you can come in back again. Maybe
I log out first.
Alvin, you can go on first, Alvin.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll answer first. Right. So mental health. A lot of people tend to equate mental health to mental illness somehow, But when we take the mental out of mental health, we just say health. People know what health is. People know what illness is. They are two different things. So same thing with mental health and mental illness. They are two different things. Health is health. Illness is illness. And it's kind of funny that people equate the two because sometimes we ask people, shall we talk about mental health? No, 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 no. Mental health, bad, bad, bad. It basically means that you're able to function mentally. So functioning mentally is something all of us need to do from the moment we wake up and until we sleep. So mentally would mean not just emotions. Mental also means how you process information, how you take information in, do something with it. You can retain information as memory. You can also recall from memory. Those are very much part of your mental functioning. And of course, emotional management is something we do every day. We manage well enough, we function. We are able to get through our lives, whether we are happy or unhappy, we are able to do whatever we have to do every day with enough skills to adapt, to survive the day and to go on to the next one, right? So we have the cognitive bit of mental, that's our thoughts, our thought processes. There's the emotional part, there's a behavioral part. And of course, some people want to put in the spiritual part as well. Whatever that's within us that's mental, that helps us to function on a daily basis, that works for us, is mental health. But if there are certain bits within the mental part, all right, that you are having difficulties concentrating, for example, focusing on your job, you're getting very disrupted very easily to the point you're not able to function, for a certain reason, for a particular duration of time is difficult, then that's what we see as mentally not so healthy. When it becomes an illness, if it lasts too long, for example, like 2 weeks, a month to 6 months, you're still having difficulties concentrating, that's a kind of mental illness. Exactly what we can't really tell because there's so many symptoms that are what we call transdiagnostic. It seems like a symptom for a particular disorder, but you can also find it in other disorders. And we'll not go into too many disorders, but that's basically what mental health is and mental illness is. If you want to look at it in a technical way, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Every now and then we don't function mentally, and myself included. Just because I am trained as a clinical psychologist doesn't mean I'm immune to mental health issues. I am definitely affected by it. For example, like even now, I woke up very early this morning, and not having enough sleep would affect the way you function mentally. Yeah, so thank you, Vyasa, for doing this at like 8 o'clock and not like 10 o'clock. Otherwise, I'll be not functioning at all. So yeah, as simple as that. Mental health is about being able to function mentally, just like how we are able to function physically.
Right.
Hope that's clear enough.
So what happens when the mental health part is low? What happens, when people don't function properly? What are some of the signs?
All right. Well, if we take the cognitive part, the way we process information, if we have memory problems, can you imagine that's going to happen? I mean, what's going to happen to you in a day? All right, you go to the bank, a memory problem, so many things can happen. You can forget your password, all kinds of things go wrong just because of one or two problems with memory.
Okay.
All right. And emotions. If you are unable to manage your emotions in a way that helps you to survive, that means you just break down and that's it. You are not able to do anything else. Then the rest of your day would not be functional. You become very dependent on other people. So one of the symptoms, I guess you can say, is you start becoming dependent on people. You have difficulties being, I wouldn't even say independent. We are all interdependent in some ways, but we are independent enough to take care of ourselves. And if that somehow, hi Sangeeta, welcome back. Yeah,
Interesting.
this is where you have got unhealthy internet. So it
Yes.
disturbs your functioning, isn't it? Yeah. So if
I
you were
was
to
just
bring
thinking you're
mental
going
into
to.
it, it affects your functioning. It disrupts
Right.
your life to the point that you have got distress. Then it is mentally unhealthy. A lot of us, we forget things now and then, but it doesn't cause so much distress.
Yes.
Quite all right. But sometimes it doesn't cause us distress, but it causes other people lots of distress. That is also a problem. Yeah, because you may think like, la 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 la, I'm forgetting, never mind lah, but other people are suffering because of it. That's a problem too. So
Yeah.
when it comes to Vyasa, you're asking what are some of the signs? Signs
Yeah.
are distress,
Yes.
dysfunction.
Distress.
Distress not
Okay.
just in yourself, can be distress in other
Right.
people.
Okay.
Some people think they are fine, but others don't.
Right.
That can be very tricky. So
Yes.
dysfunction, distress, impairment, basically you are impaired in your daily functioning in a particular function or more than one function. And it lasts for some time. So to me, if it lasts for about at least 2 weeks, you better do something about it because it can be pretty serious.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Dr. Sangeeta, do you have anything to share in this area?
I didn't get the question.
Okay, the question is actually like what first Alvin
Okay.
shared about what is mental health, okay, as in a general picture, what's low mental health, what's dysfunction, right? So I was asking him a little bit more about what shows us that our mental health is actually low.
Okay. So, okay, like for me, I find it like my personal experience lah, because everyone is
Right.
different and the way they deal with it different. And if they have a good high resilience, they are able to function even better and to adapt better, right? So if you feel that you are easily being triggered, okay,
Mm,
something that people say, then suddenly you just burst, okay.
yeah.
So it's time for you to really look deeper and find out why are you reacting that way. It's all about reaction. Sometimes a simplest word can trigger you. And another thing that I would like to address also, people use the word stress overly. For
Yes.
every single thing they say, I'm stressed, I'm stressed. And just to let everyone know, stress is good. Unless it's prolonged stress, then you need to look at it differently. But you need stress for you to be able to function. You need stress to motivate you to get things done. Yeah.
Okay. So stress
I'm
can be
stressed
good.
now. I'm
Yeah.
stressed.
Yeah, stress, isn't it?
You locked out.
Yes, yes. And we were also a
But you
bit
adapted.
stressed.
You managed to
Yeah.
do something about it. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you're
Self-praise.
not dysfunctional, lah. You could actually function and get the things sorted out on your own and coming back
Yes.
again, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
So
mentally healthy.
yeah,
I'm sane.
right. So that's a good definition of mental health, lah. Right. So what is
Mhm.
good mental health?
Well, just like how Sangeeta was, she was good mental health. She was stressed. She may be she may still be stressed, but she's able to function.
Yes.
Right.
She knows she doesn't like it. You don't like it, right?
Right.
Being locked out and stuff. Yeah,
No.
you don't have to like it, but you're still able to manage.
Yes.
Whether you smile or not doesn't matter, but nice smile, Sangeeta. Well done.
Thank you very much.
You're still able to function, and that's the most important thing. Too many people think that, oh, I'm stressed up, so I must be mentally unhealthy. Not really. Stress is a very, very natural feeling.
Yeah.
You want something, you don't get it, you get upset, and being upset is fine. You don't want something and you get it, also you get upset. So we go through this kind of stuff every day, and if you go through it and you survive with not too much trouble, that's good mental health also. Just to say that, you don't have to be happy all the time for you to think that you got good mental health. In fact, if you're happy all the time, then we'll be quite worried also because, it's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
functioning,
also,
basically.
and also you should be able to understand your emotions. And the thing with people, right? We tend to look at what others would say, For example, okay, take my scenario, just what just happened, right? So
Right.
I'm locked up because
Yes.
of unstable internet connection, but I'm fine with it because
Yeah.
nothing is perfect, nothing's supposed to
Yeah.
be like 100%, everything must be in order. But because we always want a safe face, jaga muka, what would others think? So why you want to create unnecessary tension to yourself? Just be nobody is perfect. So
Yeah, you get 85% and on an exam still A, what?
Oh, that's
Although I
a
know
little
some
bit of
parents say
pressure.
85 only, cannot 90.
mm, Yeah.
Okay.
So when it comes to that, Alvin, it's good that you brought it up because most parents, when we talk about a mom's role and a dad's role, right? So normally, mom will have their own WhatsApp group with all the other moms, and then they start comparing, and then they put the teachers in. Why you want to create unnecessary issue?
Who, for the teacher?
For the teacher and for themselves, lah. Okay.
Teacher also kena, right?
Yes, and I see some parents, they talk about their children in the WhatsApp group. This stupid fella don't even know how to follow the teacher's instruction. Just copy and paste. Also, they can't do it. So why are you discussing this? Why are you projecting it, magnifying about such a small thing? What you want to see? Attention? What you want to say that? So while you are communicating, it's important to be mindful. And there are also parents that, I be sent to a best school, best tuition. Okay lah, it's good for you. You don't need to, forecast it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay, like, if
Unnecessary
they want
stress,
to,
right?
let them lah.
Yeah,
Okay lah.
that's where I will do deeper. When I do family, right? That's where I see, looks at the family dynamic. Okay, the issue most of the time, not the kids, it's the parents. It's the family setting.
Okay. So, friends, we have also here Michael here. Hi, Michael here.
Hi.
And we have
And Bala, old-time friend
Bala.
also from high school.
Yes, from high school. Hi, hi,
Yes.
hi. And then we have Kairesh, and then we have Abi Sofyan, who actually has a question. Why can't one be happy all the time if she can manage stress very well?
Well, the thing about managing stress is managing stress. It is not about being happy. Yeah. And, like what Sangeeta says, if you can understand how you feel and what you feel, how long it lasts, when it comes, when it goes, you realize that feelings are very fleeting. They come, they go. If you ask me, if I'm like some old great guru somewhere up in the mountain somewhere, firstly, I'll probably be lack of oxygen. I can't breathe. Not very wise to be up there, isn't it?
Yeah. They need less oxygen.
Yeah, but anyway, I would say that if you come climbing up to me and say, "What is the secret to happiness?" and I'll probably say to you, you know what? There's no such thing as happiness. So chill, man.
Right.
You don't have to work yourself so hard just to be happy because it's a fleeting moment. It comes and it goes, and that's okay because all other feelings are the same. They come and they go. There's no such thing as a happy person. There's no such thing as a depressed person. There's no such thing as a deep stressed up person. They're just people who are stressed up now and then, happy now and then, depressed now and then, angry now and then, and no feelings every now and then also. Just like that, Yeah. So if you can manage stress very well, doesn't mean you're happy. Like just now, Sangeeta, were you happy? You were managing your stress, but were you happy? No. You want to get back in, isn't it?
Yes, I want to be
Alvin Biasa be doing this, kick you out. Come on, you get to the chopper.
Yeah.
And I was
And also you need to define what does happiness means to you. Because how happiness from my point of view will be different from Alvin, will be different from Yasa, and will be different from everyone. So
Right.
you define your own happiness. It doesn't need to be a norm. Like everyone's supposed to be happy. Everyone's supposed to go through. No, we are all different. You need to understand.
To answer Abi Sofyan's question, what's my point? My point is happiness is a fleeting moment.
Okay, so good. I think that's we have a lot of feelings throughout, right? We have happy moments, we have sad moments, we have upset moments, we have angry moments. So one good question here is, what defines a normal person, right? Do normal people, right, feel angry? Do they feel sad? Do they feel depressed sometimes? Is it normal, or do does it mean that we are mentally not sound?
Oh, I go through all those emotions, yes, sir.
Right.
And I'm normal.
Okay.
I go through all those emotions. There are days and
Are you
times.
sure?
Yeah. And you know, right? If I go through all that, what I do.
Okay, well, to me, my answer will be pretty much the same. Yeah, rather than are we normal or how normal are we,
Right.
we are basically human beings
Right.
who come with a whole bunch of emotions, depending on how we react to things. That's one thing. We also all of this would depend on actually a whole interaction of many factors, biological factors, all right, psychological factors like how much we have learned, our individual differences, our personality, our
Right.
environment, our social environment as well. All these
Right.
are all mixed up together at the same time and interacting.
Right.
So no one thing actually causes this, and there's always change here and there. So how do we even know what normal is? So what I normally would answer to that is to look back at how we are able to function. I mean, our focus is basically just to survive as long as we can. And we know that in physical health, to survive means we need to have, well, balanced diet, regular exercise, enough sleep. Why? Because it helps to maintain our life. When it comes to something mental, the way we are able to cope with whatever that we're going through, whatever emotions we have, so that we are able to live another day and also not cause too much damage to our own actual physical self, because there's however we are mentally can also affect the way we are physically. Lots of research to show that. All right. So normal, not normal doesn't really factor in. What's most important is how you are able to function. If you are finding yourself to be dysfunctional more often than not, what can you do about it? So that's what we call positive psychology. Positive is not about being happy. Positive is about moving forward, plus moving forward, to go forward, to progress. So if we start thinking only about normal, not normal, that's where all the stigma comes in. We're not being focused on actually what we need.
Right.
We start focusing on who we are, that is kind of static, just one point. But we are dynamic, we are constantly moving. We are not one moment in time. We are many, many moments in time, and things change. So I would rather focus on functioning rather than, am I normal or not?
Normal.
Normal. I don't care. You can be normal, it's fine, but I want to focus on function. Yes.
Right.
That's my answer lah.
Okay. All right. So let me just ask. Okay, there are some statistics about men and women, right? And let me just read out some of the statistics here, right? So men have suicide rates 3 times higher than women. All right. Men on average die 4 to 5 years younger than women. Men with mental health problems are less likely to get help than women. Okay, male depression is often undiagnosed, and across the world, one man dies by suicide every minute of every day, with males accounting for 75% of all suicides. So why is this happening?
Well, men just have to take care of themselves better.
Okay.
Why is it happening? Well, I suppose if you think about it, it's kind of a pressure cooker being a man. I suppose, you got to um, live up to what we think is society's image of what a man should be: strong, macho, stoic. You get slapped on the face, that's it. There's no like you got to no pain, no gain, that kind of stuff. We have all been brought up with it, myself included, and I'm still definitely acting up to what is expected. And part of it is to not show emotions, to be as rational as possible. Even if we are irrational, we are vulnerable, we mustn't show that we are irrational and vulnerable. So we become like a pressure cooker.
Right.
On one hand, you want to like express. On the other hand, no. It's not the way to do it. So, of course, you're going to feel super pressured, and when you snap, you snap. And the thing about suicide is one of the main factors that's a risk factor of suicide is impulsivity. And if we look at gender and impulsivity, we find that men tend to be more impulsive in certain situations, especially when it is more towards the aggressive kind of situation. There's more impulsivity, which is why men are also more likely to complete suicide.
Complete.
Complete, yes.
Right.
Men and women both attempt.
Right.
Men are more likely to complete.
Right.
Yeah, from my point of view, I look at it that, women talk about their emotion. Women cry. Women share, right? So the moment you start to share, the moment you start to express all this, you will get support. Because it's okay for girls, it's okay to cry, and we train a lot of when it comes to emotions, women
Okay, sorry,
are
I'm just being
I know. Women are just like, vulnerable.
Right.
You can show it, and it looks like we are weak. So that is why when we have issues, we tend to share. Where men, they are not being brought up to share their emotions. You have to keep everything inside. And I'm sure both of you, when you were younger, when you are crying, what did your parents say? Don't cry. Boys don't cry. And even now, there's many households, the parents will say, boys don't cry. You must be strong.
No, they tend to use reverse psychology. Cry some more. Cry some more. That means you still cry.
Right.
Lempang one time. Cry some more.
Oh, Alvin, you got it, man.
Don't let your son say this. Yeah, Asman says it's due to ego. Yeah, exactly. Somehow there's this machismo, men's ego thing. Spot on, Sangeeta. Women express because women are allowed to be vulnerable, and when men start becoming vulnerable, we're seen as weak. And it's not just among men; it's also men and women. Women have told me to man up before.
Okay, what are some of the typical definitions of what men have to do when they're feeling stressed or upset? What is expected? What is the so-called expectation out there?
I guess you got to just live with it. Do the right thing. Be a man. Basically, man up.
Sounds familiar.
It sounds familiar, isn't it? Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm being typically Malaysian, plagiarize everything. Yeah, and Mala also says strong women don't cry. Yeah, we also hear that. That's right. There's a lot of gender discussions, that we can talk about because women have both masculinity and femininity. Right? You can have both, and it's okay. Sangeeta is obviously a very masculine lady.
Yes.
She's a go-getter, right?
Yes.
Competitive. That's why you're successful. All right. Not to say that men are successful because of that, but you're able to have both masculinity and femininity. But men somehow are just stuck with masculinity. Whenever there's any kind of feminine side coming up, that's where we say I got soft skills lah. It becomes prejudice against, stigmatized against. Right. So all the more there's pressure cooker. when you want to actually deal with problems. And men do deal with problems, but in a way that may be quite, I guess, hostile and aggressive as well. Getting angry, getting upset and throwing tantrums, that kind of stuff, which is also one of the signs for depression in men. We don't know about, we see anger being expressed, or we see like I don't know, either being very tired. But these are the things that we don't really know. It's like burnout kind of stuff also. So yeah, even the symptoms can be quite different in between men and women, right, Sangeeta?
Yeah, and then you can see some men. Okay, generally what they'll do is easy way out. They go for a drink. They start using.
Yes.
So these are the way for them to cope. You see, coping.
Empty glass.
Oh yeah. Then I show you mine. My water.
Oh, that's a lot
Also
of
got
coffee there.
water. Okay, you win. Yours boiled water. Mine is like.
Mine is warm water. Okay. So
These are my two friends, good friends.
So when men feel that their coping mechanism is different, it's more towards, if you look at it, negative, where once they drink, then they enjoy it, and then it continues and carry on, and then that's where you become addicted to it. And not only substance abuse, alcohol, or that. Sometimes people go into porno because they don't know how to release. So that's the easy way. Just go in and get it done with.
Plus, it can also be part of a man thing.
Yeah. So
Right.
you need to look what worked best for you, because maybe for Alvin, that's his bottle. All right. Maybe for you, Biasa, would be something else. So no one solution works for everyone. So you need to test. You are like a guinea pig. You need to test, retest, and see what works.
Safely.
So
don't get addicted.
Deva here has asked the question, right? So Bala has said that, I'm very against saying men can and should not cry. Men
Yay,
also
Bala.
have feelings. Yeah. So men should cry if needed, right? So this is a good one. And Deva has said that to take care of our physical health, we need to ensure proper diet and exercise. What about mental health?
Very good question. Fantastic question, Deva Kumaran. Yes.
I look at it, you need to detox your mind. You need to detox your mind from all the toxic. If you can, one step at a time. You need to diet your mind by translating negative statement, like to positive. Easier said than done, but if you start doing it, it will be soy for all of you.
I've got 5 points for Deva. These are 5 Gs. Phone got 5G. I also got 5G. One thing that you can do for your mental health, that everyone can do, we all have the skills ready. You don't even have to learn new skills. First G is this: hello, hi, greeting.
Okay.
As simple as that. When someone greets you, especially someone you know greets you, total stranger, they want different thing, yeah. But generally, when people smile and say hi to you, how do you feel inside? It's a nice feeling, right? You like it?
Good.
You want more of it? What can you do? Greet more, lah. So there you go. If you greet more in a day, how do you think your day will be?
Generally, it'll be quite positive.
Better. Just that 1 G alone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use my finger. Okay, 1 G. Right? Second G is, have you given anything to anyone before? I'm sure you have. Giving a present. You give something sincerely, not take. Sincerely, you give. It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
You like it? You want more of it? What can you do? Give more, lah. I give you my bank account number. You give freely.
No expectation.
But anyway, the point is, as you're giving, it's a nice feeling. All right.
Yeah.
And many of us, when it comes to nice feelings, we tend to not keep them, like our nice selfie. We take a selfie and it's like we delete it straight away. But when we have bad feelings, we don't delete, we keep them in so that we can come out again and then start ruminating. Why don't we do that with nice feelings? So if you give someone something, you feel good about it, keep that into your emotional bank account. Right? Keep the nice feeling that when you greet someone or somebody greets you, keep it in your emotional bank account. You have 2 Gs now already. Hopefully you can follow. 2 Gs. Third G, gratitude lah. I'm sure if you give things to people before, people would have given things to you. And there's so many things in a day that you can be grateful for. So gratitude. All right. So what can you do physically? It's like exercise, eat. Mentally, you have gratitude. Give. Generosity is a good thing. You don't even have to give money. Give a smile also can. All right, greeting. I got covered the 3 Gs already. Now to the 4th G. 4th G is very powerful. A lot of people don't think about it. 4th G is what I call glorifying skillfulness in others. I now glorify Vyasa for having this kind of conversations. I glorify Sangeeta for who she is. You know, she's like, wow, she does so many things. I look at her, I feel tired. How la Sangeeta get all the energy? Anyway, so, you know, when I look at Sangeeta, I look at Vyasa, I go, wow. And I'm sure you all go, wow, before in your life. How does it feel? It's nice, isn't it? You're inspired. So when you're inspired, it's a good feeling. Keep it into your emotional bank account inside. And this bank account, right? Nobody can steal from you. 1 MDB cannot touch also. Right. And 5th G is simple. G is for giggle, laugh, learn a joke, tell a joke. So there you are, Deva. Greet more, give more, be more grateful, glorify skillfulness, feel inspired, and giggle. Do this more in a day and tell me how you feel in a day. And this is something to also address, who was it before just now who says something about happiness? Stephen Wu, people should be taught how to find happiness. I would like to challenge you, Stephen, friendly challenge. I would say happiness is not to be found. Happiness is to be felt. Every now and then when you feel happy, feel it. Keep it into your emotion bank account because it will not last. There'll be a time where you want the happiness, you won't get it, but you can withdraw from that happy bank account that you kept all this while. Yeah, that's what you do mentally. You need to be mindful about all these feelings. Keep them in. Collect as much as possible. Don't have enough, do more, greet more. Be more grateful for whatever you can be grateful for. I'm grateful to Vyasa and Sangeeta, and I'm grateful to all of you tonight asking all these questions. Wow, so skillful. Who are you? I'm going to remember this for like long time.
And you're going to keep seeing this video over and over and again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sangeeta.
Okay, let's do a bit of greet. All right. So, hi Angie. Hi, how are you doing? And Shalin, hi, how are you? You have a question there, right? Okay, this one is happening a lot nowadays, right? So I have a few male friends who have unfortunately lost their job this year due to COVID. Okay, they are taking it very badly, and they say things like, "I'm a man. I'm supposed to bring home the bacon." Right? And I know a couple who have experienced severe mood swings, bouts of anger, then sadness, feeling less of a man, etc. Okay, so this thing is actually quite going around quite a lot, and we don't hear this out a lot in social media, but it is happening. So what are some of the things? And then Charlene goes on to ask, how do I, as a lady friend, support them? Very good question, right?
Excellent question. Very good. Very, very pertinent. Yeah. So, lady Sangeeta, lady friend, how to help? Men here quite helpless. I don't know what to do.
We reach out right now. We reach out to you. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So what you can do is be present. All right. Just be present. Just be there for them. Know that they are important. Know that they need that support, and just being there without even talking to show that you are supporting them emotionally, mentally, and also supporting them in other ways, in a positive way, it really brings a sense of calmness. All right, because again, women, we tend to express ourselves a lot. Okay, and we tend to give solution. You should do this, you should do that.
I thought that's more like men.
Oh yeah, I'm using my masculine now. Sorry. Can I a little bit, So it's just being there with them, and when they are ready, you can offer help. Because you have to understand this. Men have certain status and ego. And if they feel that their ego being challenged, no matter how you say it, or how you approach them, they will not listen, and they will have the defense mechanism on. It's part of their coping mechanism. Yeah. So it's good to just be present, and whenever that they are ready, you are there, they are more willing to share. So stop pushing and say, tell me lah, what you're going through. Don't do that.
Well, I must say it's easier said than done, yeah?
Yeah.
And you won't fail.
practice. You need to practice. You need to do it over and over again, because again, you have men who are brought up in different culture, who feels that it's okay for me to share with another female friend. But you have another culture where no way you can share this with another female friend, it's not good. Something is going on. So you need to understand. And most importantly, you need to be safe. See, most often we want to save others, but we forget that we are important too. Okay? So understand that your safety is important, and then you go and reach out. Be there. Just be present. Present is the best thing ever.
Okay, so
There's a big present there.
how do men normally react to a situation like that? Like
Well,
what Charlene has said.
yeah, again, fantastic question, because a lot of men feel this pressure, this huge burden that they are supposed to be the one saving the world. And in terms of being part of a family, they are the breadwinner, right? Bringing home the bacon. That is, if you don't mind bacon, lah. But yeah, there is a tremendous identity or identification with being the man of the house, the one who wears the pants, right? To the point that when that is threatened, that whole identity basically just, breaks, berkecai, or gone, to the point that who am I then? If I'm not me, then who am I? So there's a lot of identity crisis kind of thing when that happens. So it's like double whammy. You lose job, that's bad enough. But now you're losing your identity as a man, because you identify as a man who's supposed to be the one in control, who protects everything. And again, protect, power. P is also for pressure cooker. Yeah, women somehow know how to use pressure cooker better than men. My wife does cook soup with it, very nice, but I'm hopeless. But so why is it like that? Is because of that whole thing. What Sangeeta says is very important, because if you're able to show acceptance of any kind of man who's broken, for whoever they are, to validate that, hey, you know what? I'm going to accept you however you are. You don't have to be the one bringing home the bacon. No bacon, never mind. Just bring a few leaves of kailan or something, good enough. Or not also, never mind. Let's go together and plant some stuff. No, let's do it together. You don't have to be carrying the whole, I don't know, planet, moon, whatever else. It's okay. Let's do it together. Because too many men feel that I'm the only one who's going to be able to do this. But forget that, hey, we are interdependent here. Let's do it. If you are going to crash, what am I going to do, Come on, let's work together. This is like how you will manage a team, isn't it? If you're the boss going in and you're scolding everybody, that's not a very wise thing to do, because they're not going to listen to you anymore after that. But you can say, hey, team, somebody made a mistake here, never mind, let's do something about it. So I will go with that. Acceptance, validation, being present, because you can't really accept unless you're present.
Yeah.
So yes, be a friend. And Charlene, how as a lady friend, support? I guess be a friend. Compassion, kindness. You can't beat kindness. And for men, you're in that situation, please be kind to yourself. It's okay. We fail a lot. All right, we fail on a daily basis.
We still love you.
Yeah. So please love yourself that way. I feel a lot. A lot of my students, since I'm a professor, ask me, how do you get to be a professor? I say, I feel a lot. Let's see my transcript. I'm sure you were an A student. No, I wasn't an A student. You look at my transcript, I was a C student. Yeah, C level. Almost drown sometimes, but C level, just got to float. All right, sorry, I think don't know, rambling.
No, it's
but
good.
yeah.
It's good. I mean, this is what's real out there.
Yeah.
So sometimes men tend to go into a prolonged period of being silent. Like sort of going into a cave. Whatever. When let's say when the women comes back home, and they are into their world, right? So sometimes women can find this a little bit like they can't get used to this fact. So what can be done? So first from the women's perspective and then from the men's perspective.
Can you repeat that again, Vyasa?
All right. So sometimes when they go through things like this, for example, a loss of job, right? Loss of work, loss in a business, for example, or something, right? Men tend to handle things a bit differently. Maybe they can get into a quiet mode, into a silent mode, or
Yeah.
sometimes get into their own world. Don't touch me, don't be around me, kind of mode. Because sometimes women don't know how to handle this aspect, right? What can be done during this time? Because men, sometimes they say men are from Mars and women are from Venus, right? The way we handle things are different, right? So what can women do when they encounter something like that? The silent or being in a cave environment.
Okay. Just give the men the space that they need.
Mm.
All right, because sometimes you see, when it comes to responsibilities, expectations, what you need to do, you know, and when they unable to do that, they are going through a lot because again, the stigma about what people will say, what relatives will say, what my friends will think, what my spouse will think of me, right? So give the man the space. You don't need to push them like, okay, tell me what's going on, and all that. When you give them the space and you create that safe, healthy environment, all right? So when you create that safe, healthy environment and just show them that I'm here for you. No expectation, nothing. You still do your routine, you still shower love, you still be there for them and show them the support. Okay? So when you give them space, when you give them all this, they feel that they are supported, even though they won't voice it out. But again, on and off, tell them that, I'm here if you want to talk. For me, it's like that. I just say, I'm here when you are ready, I'm here. If you feel
Right.
that you need to talk to your friends, go ahead. But you need to observe because sometimes it can go to a different direction. Again, of the abuse and all that substance abuse.
Yeah.
And all that. So it can go to different direction. So has a woman or has a spouse, has a wife, right? You observe because there are mood where they are happy. There'll be happy moments. So that's the time you can connect to them easily. But if they're all sucked up and then they feel that they don't want to talk, no point pushing because you will push them further away and they don't feel comfortable sharing. Alvin?
Yeah. Yeah, as a man also I can relate. Sometimes I go into my own world and I just want to be left alone. I'm kind of like that cat who just want to sit next to you but don't want to let you touch me, that kind of thing. And sometimes a cat comes to you, oh, how cute, you want to pet it, yeah, that kind of thing. And Sangeeta, what you say is right also. And I would like to add that sometimes there might be something that might cause a conflict because men sometimes can be very silly in their words. Women try to want to help, but then men is like, go, just leave me alone, okay? Just go do your womanly stuff. That can actually cause a lot of friction, isn't it? I mean, you wouldn't like to be told, go do your womanly stuff, isn't it? Yeah, not something that, but if you start going, what did you say? Yeah, so I'm just saying, watch for that. If you can be the more matured person in the the diet, the partnership, then be so. Telan that because you don't want to start a fight. And men also, I'm not going to defend men who say things like that. It's just irresponsible and very not respectful. It's also, I guess, how to say, a hint to tell you, hey, you got to talk about it and let's deal with this. If you need space, yeah, okay, fine, but let's talk about it because it affects me too. We're living in the same house under the same roof. How you all affects me. So unless we do something about it, it's not going to help very much. And this is something that goes back to what Vyasa asked. When does it become mentally unhealthy? when there's dysfunction, when there's distress, when there's impairment. Too much of that self-space kind of thing can lead to impairment because you may start to ruminate. And rumination is something that a lot of people think gives you some answer, a solution, but it doesn't. You basically go round and round thinking, moping about all kinds of negative stuff, and you still feel negative. It doesn't lead to something. And then if you start drinking or taking drugs or doing whatever else that helps you feel momentarily nice to release, but you still are in the cycle, that's not good. If you find yourself to be doing that for 2 months, 3 months, up to 6 months, whoa, better seek help. In fact, if you ask me, 2 weeks is more than enough. Right? 2 weeks of that. Yeah, do something about it. Get help. And you know what? I'm going to be very open about this. I get help. I see counselors. I see people like Sangeeta. I just don't see Sangeeta. She's too busy.
No,
we
even
catch up now and then.
Yeah.
But I seek help. I make appointment with counselors, with psychologists. At Sunway University, we have got employee assistance program. And you don't know what it is. EAP is basically an outsourced place that you can send your staff to for free. Of course, you must pay them, your staff don't pay, to seek help from a psychologist or counselor. And I make full use of it. My job is stressful, very stressful. Do I look stressed? Of course I do.
You can see from your post.
Yes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, then anyway, yes, basically I seek help. Why? Because I know that counselors are trained, psychologists are trained. And we know from research that it works most of the time. All right. Why not put my hands in, myself in the hands of a trained person to help me? Just because I'm a psychologist doesn't mean I'm immune to any kind of mental health issue. I am not at all. In fact, I'm super burnt out actually. And this is a nice networking kind of chit-chat stuff that I like doing. Yes. So no shame in it. Get help.
Yeah.
This is why, I was telling Vyasa, this is International Men's Day. Men have to own up to their own problems and to do something about it, not alone, but you can seek help from other men, from women, whoever, it doesn't matter. You can seek help from a cat even, if the cat allows you to, pet it. It can be very, very therapeutic. 1 stroke, 2 stroke, 3 strokes. So instead of getting stroked by Rotan, you stroke the cat, this.
Another thing that you need to look at for women out there to support your man, all right, it can be at nothing personal. Because sometimes men can just blur out, like what Alvin mentioned, right? They can just say something might hurt you if you're too sensitive, then you ended up crying, and then the whole family dynamic will go into haywire and all that. Always remember, be mature and nothing personal. Okay? The moment you have this mantra of nothing personal, you look at things differently. It's different perspective all over. And you know that
again, easier said than done. Got to practice because you will fail.
It's not easy. Like for me, being a mom, being a wife, and so many different roles and responsibilities, sometimes it can be overwhelming. And I'm sure for men, even though we have so many different responsibilities, but end of the day, you need to understand yourself. You need to go deeper. And when you have nothing personal and you keep on repeating it by doing, not just saying it out, you can see a change in the way you process information, in the way you absorb information, and how you react and respond to it. It's different.
What do you mean by nothing personal?
Okay, for example, if someone say, someone say that, oh, Sangeeta, you are not a good mom, because you don't even sit with your kids to do their revision. Okay lah, you sit with your kids, you do revision with your kids, you are happy doing it, I'm so happy for you. But I'm the type of person, you want me to sit with my kid and do revision, ended up both of us will have conflict. Because I'm impatient, and if you don't follow up to my expectation, gone kid. This one also you don't know how to do. What's wrong with me? Why I want to create unnecessary stress to myself and spoil my relationship with my child? So do whatever you want. I'm fine with it. Okay, as long you are learning something, it's okay. You know. So when someone tell this to me, or someone say, "Oh, you must know where your husband go. You know, you must call. You must check the messages." Hey, please, you go and do your work. You know when to call me. You know what information to tell me. You know.
Wow, trust
So
issues.
yeah, other than that, I'm not interested because I have my own responsibilities. We are not supposed to. And one more thing, right? If you look at it, most wife they act as if they are the mother to their spouse.
Interesting.
Mm,
Maybe you can
Hmm.
share a little bit more about that.
Alvin,
mm.
you say now. You say I top up later.
No, I think Sangeeta, what you brought up that was very good. That not nothing personal thing, but I think the main point that you're making there, Sangeeta, is that you want to be focusing on the objective. If your being personal bit is coming into the way of meeting the objective, then it's a different ball game already. You're being distracted, right?
Yeah.
So, if the whole idea is to get well together, then how is it that you are going to defend yourself part of the whole goal of, growing together? Sometimes you just got to be the more mature one.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm not giving, I'm not defending the men being immature. Men should not be like that. But sometimes men need some time to learn. I consider myself still very man kind of thing. I'm still learning a lot from my own personal ego. Got tons of it. I take things personally. Uh, yes,
Yeah,
I must. Hmm?
I'm sure this is not an easy thing, lah. Nothing personal, right? Because we get
Yeah,
triggered by different things and all that, and then we just got to be super aware about how we are all the time, even when we're angry, right?
correct.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel it's very important for us, not just men, but men and women, to be
Yeah.
able to be vulnerable about it. It's a very important thing to be vulnerable. It's something that I learned personally. If you don't really address your vulnerability as vulnerability, you mask it as something that's macho, then um, you are skirting the around the problem. You're not really dealing with it. Yeah,
Right.
and yeah,
So
what
this
was
this
the
is this is an interesting thing, right? So for men, what is it about being vulnerable? When you say vulnerability, right? What is it actually?
well, knowing that you are not able to do something that
Not
you
able to
think
do something.
you think that you ought to be able to because of being a man. All right. What Charlene shared just now, man lost his job, and if your identity as a man is connected to holding a job for the whole family, then if you lose your job, what do you lose? You basically lose your identity. And when you're not yourself, there's nothing that you can prove, all right, about yourself, then you're vulnerable, you're exposed, you're open. That's a very
Mm.
painful place to be in. And some men don't know how to deal with that pain. They don't know how to say, well, this is painful. I don't like this. I don't really know what to do. So the not knowing what to do bit is also even more crushing because if I'm brought up as a man and I'm the man of the house, I need to be in control. I need to have all the power in the world. He man, I have the power. Um, and when I don't have it, who am I? I'm totally crushed. I don't deserve to live anymore. This is why many even go towards suicide because of the whole idea that I'm nothing, that I don't even deserve to exist anymore because I can't even be a man.
Mm.
But it's not so simple to be a man when you got all the expectation.
So
Um,
what can a man do when they're feeling this, like say loss of identity? First, like example, loss of a job creates
mm,
a loss of identity, and
mhm,
then what can they do to reach out? Maybe what are the steps they can take? Because normally they might just go into their own space,
mm.
but what can they do to turn this around and get people around, to
Yeah.
get to seek help? What are the steps?
Yeah, there's no easy answer again, because like I think some of you all said in the chat, a very wise bunch of people in the group. I like. There's so many different cultures. There are people, men. When I used to practice, I used to see all kinds of men coming in, and they would not even own up to having a problem. You got someone losing a job, and you say, so how do you feel about losing a job? Like, must be upsetting. That not even able to say that I'm upset. Surely it must be something quite upsetting. Because when you dig into it, it's like, look, I think the reason why you are here is also because your wife forced you to be here. Then why are you here? 6 months ago, my boss don't like me lah. So no more job lah. 6 months ago. No wonder your wife is upset with you. You cite her, is it? You cannot really expect to tell men to just say, hey, you got to seek help, go see a counselor and talk about it, because it depends on how they are.
Yes.
Now, this is where men need to talk to men and reach out to men. And this is why we got this Movember thing going on in this month of November. Men talking to other men, hey, are you okay? Let's go for water. H2O, it's healthy. Let's go for a walk. Let's thrash this out. How can we find you another job? So rather than saying let's talk about your feelings, how can we find you another? While you talk about it, while you walk, you may be able to process things. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, in short, is to find out how that particular man can process what they are feeling without necessarily talking about feelings first. Yeah, I know you're like skirting on the issue, but if you're going to be using a kind of vocabulary that is not existent, it doesn't exist in them, it's not going to help very much.
Yeah.
Just like how when I trained to be a psychologist, you learn all this dialogue and stuff. I was in Australia, so maybe Aussies understand. You come back to Malaysia, and then you get this uncle of a guy, and you ask like, sir, how does it feel to you? Blah 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 blah, and you go,
with that look.
Nothing go in. So we just have to like what Sangeeta said, be present, join with a person. So I'm sorry, Vyasa, I can't really give you a straight answer, because we are so different. We have individual differences in personality, upbringing, our biology is different. But main thing I would say is to connect. Make friends first, connect first, find out what's going on. What can men do? Those men listening in, those friends of men, whether you're man or woman listening in, is to keep on talking about how we address difficulties, emotional difficulties. If it's something that's non-emotional, you don't want to be emotional, but whatever difficulties that can be seen as being vulnerable. Losing a job is vulnerability. Losing face is vulnerability. Being called stupid by another man can be a vulnerable thing. Like, no one calls me stupid, how dare him? That kind of thing. So how do we address that? I think we just have to talk more about it. That would be my answer. Let's have more conversations like this with each other, and make it more normal, more usual. So we don't have to stigmatize this as men. We don't even have to bring gender into it. Let's us all be humans who have got different upbringing, different beliefs, which is fine. We don't have to agree with each other. Like who was I challenging just now? Sorry, Stephen, was it? Yeah, I can't remember now. Yeah, friendly challenge. Yeah, I think it was Stephen. That you don't find happiness, you feel happiness. Because the more you look for happiness, you can't find it until you stop and then you feel it. Hey, happy. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I talked too much now.
No, it's
I
good.
think, yeah.
I like to
Go ahead.
go that. Start the conversation rolling about your emotion. I mean, you can talk about your kids' education. You can talk about where you want to go for a holiday. You can talk about what's happening in the office. Why don't you talk about your emotion?
I think one of the reasons why is because a lot of men somehow don't have the ability to identify emotions.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a
you
good
you
one.
get teenagers coming back, teenage girls, typical one will be, oh, my day was blah 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 blah. You ask a teenage boy, how was your day?
Okay.
Okay,
Nothing.
just a grunt,
Mm.
Yeah. Men talking with each other. This is what I learned in Australia. Two men come together, mate, 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 done. One word, conversation finished. Or he was like, bro, hey, bro,
Hey,
bro, bro, bro,
Mata,
bro,
ah,
done.
everything is in. So
Everything is bro.
start the
Mm,
conversation rolling. Start with something that it's comfortable for you, it's easy
Mm-hmm.
for you to understand, and then slowly you go deeper.
Even
Again,
if it's just silence, two cats sitting together, two
yeah,
dogs sitting together, a cat
just
and a dog sitting
listening to
together.
each other.
Yeah.
I suppose it's not. I think men have to also understand there's nothing wrong about sharing about what you're feeling right now, lah. So let's say, like, you just lost a job. You can feel frustrated. You can feel angry. You
Hmm.
can feel, and all that. And I think it's good to share it out with somebody, right? As a start, just share it out, and sort of like acknowledge that emotion lah.
Somebody you trust, lah.
Mm,
You trusted somebody. Important
Mm,
also, you know how to choose friends.
yeah.
mm,
Mm. That's a skill that we need to teach our children.
Mm,
How
yeah.
to make friends, how to keep friends, how to make more friends, because you will lose some along the way. They will unfriend you on Facebook or other places. Yeah.
when you
Yeah, Vyasa, you're right.
when you talk about friends, Alvin, we tend to teach our kids any stranger also. When kids get along, instead of acquaintance, they say, "Hey, your friend. Look at this adik. Look at this kakak." So what are you building? You see, last
Hmm.
time, don't simply call people friend. You know, if you look in bahasa, you have kawan and sahabat. Sahabat is someone that you can really get connected with. You can share more things. Kawan is just a kawan and all that. But now people don't use the term anymore. Every single thing you can see BFF, BFF. BFF supposed to be through good and bad.
Yeah, I guess you're putting out a generational thing, lah.
Ah,
That's also important. Mm. So how will the future men be like?
mm,
Interesting, isn't it? I had one student come to me. I hope he's not watching this. Came to me crying, told me that he's very sad. I asked him why. He said he broke up. Oh, okay. So how long do you know this girl? And he said, huh? Just today. I'm like, just today? Tell me, how did you break up? So, well, I asked her to be my girlfriend and she said no. And I went like, okay, I hate to break this to you, but that wasn't a breakup. That's what you call a rejection. He was like, huh?
Mm.
Rejection? Yeah, it's only a rejection. Oh, okay. Not so bad, then. Where did you learn that? So again, I guess it's about perspective, lah. And in terms of Biasa, you were talking just now about reaching out and talking. If you feel upset, something I want to bring up also, that part of men's, I guess, disease is that there's this sense of privilege.
Mm.
That is my privilege to have this job. How dare they let me go? Don't they know that I'm good? Sometimes there's this air, of privilege, which I think seems to be more in men. I find that there's a very, very good article that you all can have a look. It's something I shared with Vyasa. It's by Michael Kaufman, who wrote this thing called the 7 Ps of men's violence. It's actually a piece on men's violence against women, which is
Mm.
also a November thing. November 25th, White Ribbon Campaign, is where men talk to other men about how men have been violent against women and that we have to stop.
Mm.
Not just physical violence, but also all kinds of other violence, verbal violence and everything. So yeah, shameless plug there. Michael Kaufman, 7 Ps of men's violence. Very, very good article for men to read and reflect on. For also women to read and reflect on and talk to the men about it. P for privilege, P for power, P for pressure cooker, P for, all kinds of other things that men think they have, but don't until they realize when they don't, then they don't know what to do. not being in control. Yes, we're all control freaks, but somehow having the masculinity control thing, if you don't allow yourself to be feminine and accept being vulnerable, it's going to be pretty hard. Because when you're left with nothing but just that vulnerability, but you don't know what to do with it, then, ooh, painful. Yeah, been there, done that. I know how it feels like, and glad to know more women. So listen to women, talk to people like Sangeeta, go singing with her. Yeah,
Yeah.
and all the manliness disappear. We can be sisters, right? Feminine stuff coming out. You're fabulous, Sangeeta. Thank you. Mwah, mwah.
So one day we just got to hear Sangeeta sing live.
Oh, I'm not a good singer. I just sing because I don't care what people think of my voice.
That's the
I'm
way
That's
to
right.
sing.
She hogs the mic all night.
So you want to sing with me? Make sure you bring your own mic.
Oh, okay.
So these days you must lah. You must pray some more. You know,
Tanda tak
SOP.
Okay. What happens when you see a psychologist or a counselor? What happens in that sessions, so that men know that it's an easy to approach, easy to get to know, easy to contact a counselor or psychologist. So what happens in the sessions?
Well, you make an appointment.
Mm-hmm.
You meet them. Usually, they will ask you whether this is your first time or not. Just to gauge, how you are, because they want to make sure that you feel as comfortable as possible. At least I do. I think Sangeeta does as well, right? Because we recognize that this is not a very typical thing that people go for. We are not like in the US where having two therapists is a cool thing, it's fashionable, You want to show off, you must say you've got two therapists. One therapist is not enough. But anyway, it's not the thing in Malaysia. So we'll find out from you what your expectations are. And then we will also lay out on the table, this is what we do. For example, for me, if I was still practicing, I'm no longer in practice, please don't come and look for me. I'm now more of a call center. You need help, I will refer you on. I'm like triage in a hospital. So I will let you know this is what I do. I can help to do some assessments and help you understand what's going on. And my approach is such and such way. If you've got such and such things, then this is what we normally do. How do you feel about it? And say, okay, sure, we can do that. Then I will get your life story, basically, learn more about who you are. And it's kind of like dancing, partner dancing. No, we don't really dance actually in the counseling thing. But to dance means you need to be able to move together, kind of thing, rather than wrestling. But you feel that you are seeing a counselor, you feel like you're wrestling with them. All right, like this is a bad date. Then perhaps that counselor is not for you. It doesn't mean that counseling is not for you. That counselor is not for you. That psychologist is not for you. It's, I would say, I think the downside of seeking any kind of psychological help is it's like dating. Sometimes you meet the wrong person, and that's okay. You can ask them for a referral. They are professionals. Don't worry about how they feel. It's okay. They can be rejected. I've been rejected many times, and I happily refer them on. It's okay. But I didn't like them like that. No, just kidding. But yeah, sometimes they just don't work out, so it's okay. Prepare to shop around a bit. Some can be very expensive. Some can be quacks. I should not go there yet, but just to answer Vyasa's question, what you can expect is being upfront, nothing to hide. If you find that your therapist seems to be hiding something from you, run far, far away. Go tell Sangeeta.
Oh, everything Sangeeta. Okay, another thing that you expect is you need to take ownership. You can't expect the therapist, the counselor or the psychologist to do all of the work. So if you ask me, 80% is your job because it's you are
you're the agent of change.
the subject. And you need to go through the journey. And the journey again, it's not sorry? Yeah, Vyasa?
Just go ahead. Sorry, I'll ask you the question.
Okay, so the journey is not an easy ride. There will be a lot of emotions. There will be sometimes you'll be crying. You don't know what's going on. That's roller coaster, and sometimes you feel that it's not worth it. You don't feel good and all that. It's part of the process. You need to believe and trust the process, and the ownership is in you.
Yeah, we're not there to make you happy.
And like what Alvin said, if you feel that this counselor or psychologist cannot click, source out, go out, ask around, check.
Is seeing a psychologist or a counselor popular in Malaysia?
Oh yeah. I get lots of. I teach psychology. In fact, a majority of my students want to become clinical psychologists, like me. They say. I tell them, look at me. Do you want to be like me? Huh? No, and I ask them, why not be a counselor? They say, oh, just a counselor. Ayo. Teruk, Sangeeta, people say things like that.
No,
you take it personally, right?
No,
no, but yeah, there's this thing that there's a lot of thinking among psychology students that clinical psychologist is like higher than counselor. No such thing, lah. The skill sets, yes, they overlap, but if you're good, you're good. Doesn't matter. But yes, it is popular. A lot of people actually come to me asking me how they can become counselors. In fact, it's not just in Malaysia. It's all over the world, especially with this COVID thing going on. A lot of people are actually even like stopping their work, their career, and going to study counseling therapy because they know that a lot of it is needed. We know from all kinds of research now showing that because of this COVID thing, mental illness is going to be the leading burden on disease. It is already the leading burden on disease, and we don't have enough mental health professionals.
Right.
At least Sangeeta is practicing. I'm not. So
where do you
one person less.
Where do you seek for counselors and or psychologists, to help you?
Right. Well, for counselors, you can check out Perkama. Oh, sorry. Actually, it's the counseling board, right? Board of counseling.
Lembaga Counselor Malaysia. So if you go to Lembaga Counselor Malaysia website, there's a list of counselors. So you can email them. There's no phone number. It's just their name and email and their practice number, the license number. So you can call them. You can email them. There's a lot out there, like in NGO associations, private practice out there. So you just need to Google counseling in Malaysia or counselor in Malaysia. There's a whole list of it.
Yeah.
What's
please.
The difference? Sorry, what's the difference between a psychologist and a counselor?
Counselors are nice, fluffy people. Psychologists were taskmasters. All right, but the main difference is counselors are the one doing counseling. They are trained deeply in counseling and engaging people, talking about feelings and thoughts and everything. Sangeeta can do more of it because she's a counselor. But a psychologist like me, we are more of the technical people. We are more of the sciencey people who would be a detective about you. We are private investigators of sort, helping you to do CSI of your own mind. Cognitive scene investigation, CSI.
Like Sherlock Holmes lah.
Kind of lah, but mentally. Right. So we are the investigators. We tend to be more sciencey, not so much of feelings. Which is why I say counselors are the nice fluffy people. We are not so much the nice ones. We come on, out with it. We expose you to all kinds of not so nice stuff that makes you feel even more anxious and then help you feel better about it. That kind of things. But usually psychologists are the ones who see more severe cases, which is why we are called clinical psychologists. We work in the hospitals. Clinical means hospital. Counselors work anywhere. Hospitals also can, outside also can. They're more versatile in that sense. But in terms of psychometric assessments, like comprehensive psychological assessments, that's the field of the psychologist. So technically, if I were a hospital, I would employ the counselors to do the counseling. For psychological assessment, I'll get a psychologist to do it because they are trained in doing it. Why get a psychologist to do counseling when a counselor can do it? Yeah. Okay. And then when it comes to pills, psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Another thing that you need to understand, when you seek out for a counselor or psychologist, make sure they have the credentials. There's a lot out there who says that I can do this, I can do that, and especially now where mental health is hype and everyone needs. So a lot of people who think they know, or there's a lot mushrooming right now. Please, when you go out, check out the credential, ask around. If you're not sure, you can always come to me. You have Alvin there and few other of our colleagues out there. We can assist you. Okay,
Yeah,
if you're
like what Sangeeta said, Lembaga counselor, look for that list. No one else, just that list. For psychologists, look at Malaysian Society of Clinical Psychology. There's the website. Malaysian Society of Clinical Psychology. The website is mscp.my. There's a list there as well. All right. Trust those two lists, no other lists. I mean, sorry for some other associations, but so far the legit ones are this. And for psychiatrists, there's the Malaysian Psychiatric Association.
association.
Yeah. So the difference between psychiatrists and psychiatrists are medical doctors. They are the drug pushers.
Okay.
They can do psychotherapy too. Yala. They prescribe pills. What? We give skills.
Yes.
Because pills do not teach you skills, yo.
Yeah. And then you need also to understand, if you take pills, you also need to see a therapist. It works together. Okay?
Therapist.
Hand in hand.
Yes. Which is why I said pills don't teach you skills.
Yes.
You need skills to adapt. You need skills to manage, to cope, to learn more things. Pills don't teach you that. They just reduce your symptoms. They don't make you happy. Yeah? No such thing as a happy pill. Pills reduce symptoms. So when you reduce symptoms, you're not necessarily happy. You just reduce symptoms, just not as depressed as usual.
Yeah.
Right.
What they do is they reduce the symptoms enough for you to function daily. But unless you learn the skills to manage the way you think, the way you behave, to get out there and do more exercise, rest enough, to socialize. Social health is very important. Socializing. Creating a nice scaffolding of socially healthy people around you, having daily physical activities, eat, sleep well. Those are the things that you have to do well. And unless your symptoms are managed, those things are going to be difficult. And that's where the pills come in. But while you're on the pill, you learn the skills.
You still have to learn the skills. There's no running away.
Yeah,
right?
like what Sangeeta said, you are the agent of change. You are the one who need to do it. But you can't do it alone, never mind. Bring your whole family in, There's some fun. It takes a whole kampong actually to help all of us. So make sure you create that kampong around you that supports you. That is part of a growth mindset. Growth mindset not just about you growing. For you to grow, just like a plant, you got to put things around the plant so that the plant can climb its way out, right? Do that to yourself. So all of you asking questions on what you can do, don't do it alone also. Get your friends around you. You are the ones being the scaffolding for each other.
Right.
We are all scaffoldings for each other.
As we are coming to a close soon, right? So just one of the things when for example, when retrenchment happens and all that, right? What can the men say to their spouses or their family to get support during this time? Instead of just going at it alone or feeling very alone, what can they do or say to them, to their spouses or their family members to support them during this time?
How was Sangeeta? What would you like to hear from your husband if he gets retrenched?
What? Let me see. Just be open and be yourself, lah. I don't look at you like someone different, or have a. I mean, in my point of view, okay, if my husband listening or watching, okay, take note.
Take note.
Take note. Okay. So it's like it's okay to share. I think I'm able to understand, right? Be who you are, and it's okay to break down. It's okay to just be vulnerable. It's okay to just let it loose, because we love you for who you are, not by your status, not by how much money you have, you bring back, or what you drive, where we live. It's not like that. I think for women, generally, we just want you to be with us so that we can grow together. That's why we married you, right? If you're listening, okay, that's why I married you, Yeah, you know,
That's why it's good to have a woman on board. Get to hear from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's important to hear this from you, lah.
Mm. This is why we need to have more conversations for men to come and listen. Um, yeah. So what can men do? I would say learn to fail. Um, be okay with failing. We are all afraid to fail, myself included. Not get so stressed up every day because I'm afraid to fail. Stress on you. Why? Yeah? Like Sangeeta, why make life so hard for myself? Well, what to do? I'm a masochist, lah. Make myself suffer for no reason. But yeah, we will fail, and unless we are able to accept that failure, do something about it together with family, friends. I failed before many times. I failed hugely, or at least I thought it was huge. And my family still accepted me. And it was very humbling because I thought I was a total failure. I put it on to myself, blah, blah, blah. And without seeing that people around me who actually care. So, and if you're really afraid to fail, then you better prepare for it. Create a huge and nice scaffolding so that when you fall, people will catch you.
yes.
So it's not just about building yourself. Building yourself means building people around you. Make friends, make more friends, make even more friends. And now that you all know who we are, look us up on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Make friends. You don't like me, never mind. Don't make friends with me. It's okay. I make other friends. All right. Thank you for trying anyway.
Okay, I think it's really a good session because we get to hear this side. The pros, the cons, the what a person goes through. Who can we see when we have an issue? What do we do when we are depressed? I think we covered quite a lot. So, any last things that you would like to share before we end the show today?
I will say be kind because you will fail.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that we say, like what Sangeeta said myself, a lot of these things are easier said than done. Normally, questions come with answers, and we give answers, but we also want to give disclaimers that these answers sound nice, but doing it when you are desperate and have difficulties, mm-mm. Even myself, I can hear my own answers, and I'm not convinced. All right, because I know there are times where I try to do what I preach and I fail.
Yeah.
So it's very humbling, but it's good to know that you've tried and you failed, and perhaps think about a different way if it doesn't work, and think about what went wrong, and grow. So in order for you to grow, you got to be kind. So think about a plant. You don't try to pull it up and say, "Come on, grow." It will die, right? What do you have to do? Throw lots of shit at it, fertilizer. Yes, fertilizers stink, right? So we get a lot of stuff that stink. We don't like it, but unless we know how to use them properly to help us grow, we're not going to grow very much. We're going to water it nicely. So drink lots of water, very important. And have that scaffolding so that that plant can grow. Don't pull your plant up. Be kind.
Okay.
Over to you,
Sangeeta?
Sangeeta.
Okay, so for me, it's gratitude. We always say thank you to others, but we don't say thank you to ourselves. Come on, we go through a lot of things, ups and downs, a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles. Why don't say thank you to yourself? Once you say you have the gratitude, you thank yourself, you thank others, you feel so good. And this is what I do. Every morning after bangun, say thank you to everything. All right, to my bed, to my pillow.
Wow.
Okay. For me to be able to open my eyes and all that, after all that gratitude, please, I do that all the time. And then I go in front of the mirror while brushing my teeth. I will be admiring myself. Wow, I look so good today. Oh, it's so nice. Admire yourself. Who's going to tell you look good and say all the flowery words to you, if not yourself, and make believe it's true lah. Right? So I do that. So okay. And I'm happy.
Yes.
So I'm happy. My whole day will be happy.
Yes, there's a good dose of short scenery. It helps.
Yeah, it's very helpful. Sometimes talking to people also I will short scenery. I don't care, right?
Yes, good,
It's about
good.
me. I'm not talking about you, it's about me. So I feel good.
Yeah.
Right. So again, awesome guys. I think it's been superb. I think we can go on and talk a lot more about this area. I mean, this triggers more conversations, and also I hope that men and women can, get a lot of. I personally got a lot of tips and insights from this conversation. Lah. So I think I'm sure I'm seeing all the comments down below. A lot of them are actually finding very good value. They have shared here about what you have shared today. All right. So thank you so much. Just stay on the line. We're going to go off from the broadcast right now. Thanks, and hope to see you again in another conversation. All right.
Definitely, we will. Another one.
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Good night.
Good night. Sweet dreams. Take care.
Bye bye.
Adios.